From WBBZ-TV Sports, it's time to beat the champ. Now, here are your hosts, Paul Peck and Sue Novoitsky.
Well, hi, everybody. I'm Paul Peck, along with Hall of Fame bowler Sue Novoitsky, and welcome to this special edition of Beat the Champ. We have had a lot of fun over the last 5 years, taking this sport to another level, seeing all the outstanding bowlers in Western New York, and seeing the reaction from the bowling community has been great as well.
Absolutely. There's so many great bowlers in this community that don't do this for a living, but still come out here and perform on the weekends as if they do it for a living. And, you know, as far as the community goes, I get so much input from everyone, and we have seen so many great matches throughout the years that it's fun to actually look back and see a couple of them from time to time.
All right, so here we go. It's the best of Beat the Champ.
I'm here on Beat the Champ with the star of the day, Jason Ciliberto. Jason, do you look at the opponents coming up to you at this point and kind of try to analyze the situation and come up with a strategy, or do you just bowl your game?
Oh, I pretty much just bowl my game. If I'm throwing strikes, it's going to make it tough on them. So.
One thing I've noticed today is that even when you've had a couple frames where maybe a little transition's happening, you've been quick to figure it out. And do you think that the opponent pushing you helps this, or that you've just kind of gotten lucky falling in the right spots?
Yeah, it kind of makes you stay on top of things. You know you have to strike when you're bowling on a house shot, so gotta stay on top of the move. So.
It does make it a little a different perspective when you shoot 803 when people are pushing you, as opposed to shooting 803 in league, right? Yeah,
it's a little different, especially one-game matches. Got to win every match.
Well, I hope this turns into a streaky place, and a lot of streaks have been born from Allie Brandt, and you're no exception. So good luck in continuing that streak along.
Okay, thank you.
I'm here on Beat the Champ with J.J. Grembowitz. Seen you once before, a while back at Rapids. Tell us about your journey back to Beat the Champ.
I took some time off. I umpire, so I got back into bowling. So I figured just showings on a weekend, so I figured I'd try out, and here I am.
And I heard you say 2 out of 4, so 4 qualifiers, 2 shows. Is that what you meant?
Yes, yep. Those are my 2 out of 4 so far.
Well, that's a pretty impressive stat you've got going on there.
Yeah, I know. It's got to start winning on TV, so we'll see what happens.
Okay, well, we hope that today's the day. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
So here we go, match number 1. Can Jason Ciliberto keep his 5-match winning streak alive? J.J. Grembowitz going to have something to say about that, but right now the story, Sue, is what Ciliberto has done through this 5-match winning streak, averaging 253.
Wow, he really fell off.
Yeah, it dropped down from 260 after the last one. So here we go. It's week 3 at Allie Brandt Lanes in Lockport, and much like weeks 1 and 2, Jason Ciliberto is knocking them all down.
No sluggishness there.
Nope. Keeping that momentum going. And here's our first look at J.J. Grembowitz, just his 2nd appearance on the show. 1 previous appearance came a year ago in August of 2017 at the Rapids Bowling Center when he lost to Kevin Bianco as part of Kevin Bianco's winning streak of 10 consecutive matches. So that was the one and only time we've had JJ on the show, 46 years old, from here in Lockport. And he starts us off with a strike. And we welcome in the proprietor of here at Allie Brandt Lanes in Lockport, our buddy Brian Borowski, to take us through a little bit of week's 3's show here. And Brian, first, let's start by talking about a guy that you know pretty well and that is a regular here at Allie Brandt Lanes, which is Jason. Is this as good as you've seen him bowl in a long time?
Well, yeah, I wish you would have done a little better in nationals, because we bowled together in nationals, but
maybe that was his teammate.
Okay, sure, blame it on me, why not? But no, we actually bowled extremely well in team event. I mean, we started out with a 1046 and then just a couple of 9s, but we had a good team effort.
2 frames, 2 strikes for J.J. Grembowitz. But I think the thing that's jumped out to Sue and I is just how consistent Jason has been. He's always in the right place on the lanes. And then beyond that, when he's been pushed, which hasn't been all that often, he's been able to respond every time.
Well, he has a very direct shot to the pocket, and that's his strong suit of his game. He can throw it hard, he can throw a little softer, he can make the necessary adjustments in order to get to the pocket, and that's half the battle is getting to the pocket.
And he really has not given up the pocket much today. I think that he may have left one little light spare and a 2 4-pin combinations, and that's about it, or
Exactly.
6-pin combinations, and that's it for an entire day.
Don't forget, you can like us on the Beat the Champ Facebook page and follow us on Twitter at Beat the Champ to keep up on all the latest developments, qualifying results, videos, everything you need to know about the show. The Facebook page is loaded with all kinds of cool stuff, including videos of the 3 gentlemen that rolled 300 games in the qualifying.
This feels like a good time to take a short break. We'll be right back with more action on Beat the Champ. Instant replay on Beat the Champ is brought to you by Transit Lanes and Keglers. Join us for bowling, food, and drinks. Welcome back to Beat the Champ. Let's get back to the action here on WBBZ-TV.
And the other characteristic we've seen from Jason is he tends to be a second-half bowler throughout this winning streak, that his better performances seem to come in frames 6 through 10.
He does. He is able to bear down and get the job done.
Including back-to-back wins where he went to the 10th needing a first ball strike in order to clinch a victory, and he was able to do that. So it's, you know, as much as he's kind of rolled through here, he has been pushed pretty hard.
Well, you know, he wanted that one. That was a big shot for him, because it seems like JJ's kind of figured it out a little bit and doesn't want to let him catch up.
Don't forget, for our next round of qualifying at Classic Lanes, the top bowler in the round of 24 wins a television valued at $500 from Dirt Cheap TV. We do that every month here on Beat the Champ. 2 weeks, we will move to the Rapids Bowling Center in Niagara Falls for our next 4 weeks of competition. And that's the place where this all got started for us. And the connection there is Jason, because Jason bowled in the very first match when we brought the show back in 2016, and he was the winner. So he technically was the first ever winner of the resurgence of Beat the Champ in 2016.
This is by far his strongest performance, though, as a
No question.
grouping, right?
He came into this run 2 weeks ago with an overall record of 3 wins and 4 losses, and now by nature of the 5 in a row, he's up that to 8 and 4. So yeah, he's always never really been able to put a lot of wins together previously, even though he's been on the show pretty consistently. It's his 2nd month here as well.
All right, that was a great shot.
Great shot.
3 in a row for JJ. So once again, an opponent is putting the pressure on down the stretch on Jason.
What JJ's done is made this, you know, pretty much a 3-pin match. So he's cut that lead right down. But what he does here is pretty much what Jason's going to have to do when he goes up to bowl. So it's the same thing as following his lead.
Great shot.
Great shot.
Best shot he
Starts off.
made all match long.
That's his 4th consecutive strike. So as he hits the 10th frame, everything he does here will put the pressure on Jason. And there you can see it for yourself on the Castellone, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram scoreboard.
Great shot.
5 in a row.
Well, he's giving Jason a little bit of a dose of his own medicine here, figuring out the back end and finishing strong. So Jason is going to need a double and decent count to pull this match out. He's going to need the first two, though.
So it doesn't necessarily matter what JJ does right here.
Not necessarily,
Not so
because
much.
the fill ball, even if he strikes, Jason would need a double and 8 to win.
So what a strong finish for JJ Grembowitz. Let's see how he wraps it up and posts the final score.
Awesome, that was great.
With 6 consecutive strikes.
You just watched those shots gain confidence as he went through.
So it's a 221 final score for JJ Grembowitz, and as Sue laid out, Jason Ciliberto into the 9th frame needs a double. There's the first. He's incredibly clutch, isn't he?
Yeah, well, keep in mind that this is a lane he has struggled on this entire game and just figured out something the last shot on this lane. So it's not that he's feeling absolutely confident on this lane, because he's not, which is even more amazing to go up and make that great shot.
All right, so he needs to do it again. Anything less than a strike here means the win streak is over.
Oh,
And he gets it! A late fall on the 10-pin gets Jason the strike that he needed.
That ball came back a long way.
It did.
He got it out, and it just, fortunately, had enough energy to hit the head pin and just.
So 7's a tie, 8 or better is a win.
Another amazing opportunity for a clutch 10th frame victory for Jason Silaberto. And 9 pins will get him the victory. Unbelievable.
That was a great match.
What an incredible, you're right, Brian, couldn't have said it any better, but just another display of an incredible amount of clutchness from Jason Silaberto.
Just exactly what he's done the whole time. Is come
That's
back
at
at the
least
end
the
and win.
3rd or 4th match that he's gone to the 10th frame where you've said he needs this to win, and he's gone and gotten it. So Jason Silaberto comes up with another victory, his 6th in a row. We'll wrap this one up and get you ready for match number 2 when we return for more amazing action here at Allie Brandt Lanes in Lockport on Beat the Champ. Yet another amazing match winds up in a 2-pin victory for Jason Ciliberto. JJ, you end with 6 consecutive strikes. You couldn't have done anything else to put the pressure on him. Take me through how that match wrapped up.
Yeah, I started out with the first 2. Didn't like how it was rolling, so I moved over left. Then I got the 2 splits, changed balls, moved over back to the right 5 boards, and I struck out. So that's the name of the game. Find your mistakes and do it quick.
You bowl here a lot. You bowl against and with Jason a lot. Can you give us a perspective on how well he's bowling right now?
Oh, he's on a roll. He does other championship leagues and around and tournaments, and so he knows what to do.
Yeah, and he certainly is doing it. Brian?
All right, great bowling, JJ. Congratulations. It was a great match.
All right, well, we got more great matches to come. Jason Ciliberto trying to keep that win streak alive. Jeff Pullman is up next. We have that for you when we return on Beat the Champ.
I'm here on Beat the Champ with our Pullman of the month, Jeff. I feel like I haven't had my Pullman fixed this month. It's late in the month. So on your teacher break, you've decided to bowl with that?
I did, yeah. I came out this month. My brother was out of town with his son on a baseball trip, so I was fortunate enough to qualify. So now it looks like I'm up against tough lefty and Jason, so I'm getting ready to give him my best.
They never make it easy on it, though, do they?
No, they don't. And I'm just looking forward to having fun. It's the summer months. It's been hot, and just out here to have some fun.
Okay, well, let's do that. Let's have some fun out there today.
Great, thanks.
The next opponent up for Jason Ciliberto is Jeff Pullman. He'll be the guy that will try to end Jason's 6-match winning streak. More on Jeff in just a moment, but I don't know what more we can continue to talk about this amazing run of Jason Ciliberto, 6 in a row, an average of 248.5 during the 6 wins. He's upped his record now to an overall mark of 9-4, getting close to that rarefied air of double-digit wins on the show. And right off the bat, a strike.
Anything look different to you there?
Nothing.
He switched
Nothing
balls.
Oh, there was something different because he was the approach was the same, the spot on the lanes was the same. All right, so now tell us why, tell us what the ball change may signify.
Well, he just went to a shinier, less aggressive bowling ball so he could stay where he's been all day and not have to move his angles too much, because that other ball, which was more surface, as the lane broke down, it was pushing him in, and he was losing his angle of entry to the pocket. So this is enabling him to stay where he was all day, and still, and it's not going to hook as much.
Jeff Pullman with a strike, the 44-year-old from Clarence Center, making his 10th appearance here on Beat the Champ. He is as much the hard luck guy on this show as anybody. He's only won once in those 10th appearances, and it seems like he always runs into the guy that's crazy hot, or he gets the bad break, or the pin doesn't fall as it's supposed to fall. So Jeff has been a steady bowler here on the show. Last time we saw him was earlier in the year at Lucky Lanes in Fredonia, where he lost to Josh Nowak, but Jeff's an outstanding bowler who just can't seem to get any luck on this show. A little yell at the pins did not work in getting the 4-pin down.
Well, that was a really good shot, but so far the right-handers have had a little difficulty having their shots be consistent on both lanes, and getting similar ball reaction on both lanes. And as you can see from back here, it seems like Jason just does the same thing over and over and over and over and over, and there's no real question about where he's going to throw it or how it's going to, what the ball's going to do.
Boring is good when you're bowling the way Jason is. So it's strike spare to open up for Jeff Pullman, and now Jason will move over to lane 34 for his second frame. 37 years old from nearby Gasport, occupied full-time as an operations associate at M&T Bank, where he'll have a little more to invest in his own personal account there, won't he?
Everybody's got ideas here today on how to spend it.
Yeah, we've all been chipping in with ideas on Jason on how to spend some of that money. And he's had his mom and his dad here cheering him on all day long, which has been great. There's Janelle on the Castellone Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram scoreboard early on in this one. Jason is a quiet guy, doesn't have much to say. No, he's not your easiest interview of all of them, but I'll tell you what, he is, it's good to see him. He has been a battler on this show without a whole lot of success. It's good to see him finally get the kind of success that he has clearly proven himself throughout his outstanding career in Western New York. You like that, huh?
Well, that one
pushed it a little to the right, didn't it?
It just felt wild, yeah. It felt like it really got away from him.
So he'll have to grab the 4-7 here, and once again, if you've been watching throughout the last couple of weeks, you'll know that we've talked a lot about there's a little bit of fishing around the lanes in the early frames for Jason, and then once he gets to that 5th frame, he seems to just turn it on.
And just from experience alone, switching bowling balls after you've had a feel for a ball all day long, it seems like it doesn't seem like he's struggling with the ball at all, but you've got a shiny surface ball, and it's going to read the lane differently. So even though it's allowing him to stay where he was before, what I worry about with that bowling ball is hitting the dry and actually overreacting, because that shiny surface doesn't let the ball burn out. It keeps it generating more power. So I'm curious to see when he needs, is it going to open the lane up for him, or is it going to create an overhook situation for him? So it's just something to watch out for as we go through the match.
And a strike in the third frame for Jeff Pullman. You know, Jason's won 6 in a row now. If he gets one here, that'll be 7 in a row. That will be the fourth, tied for the 4th longest streak we've had on Beat the Champ. When you think back to the other guys who have gone on these long streaks, Jeremy Zimmerman, Kevin Bianco, Dana Vojtovic, what's different about the way Jason bowls? What reminds you maybe similarly to the way those guys bowl?
Well, what stands out in my mind during all these streaks is that there has to be many things going your way to make that all happen. And even though that's the nature of this show, Beat the Champ, and it's nice to see it happen because that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a champ that has established themselves, and you're going out to try to beat this person. So, but no matter what, in all of these situations, breaks have to come your way.
This looks like a good time to take a break. We'll be back with more Beat the Champ right after this. Welcome back to Beat the Champ.
Overall average of 225, bowls regularly on Wednesday nights at Transit Lanes and in the Travel League on Saturdays.
Wow, what a nice shot.
Nice strike.
Such a nice shot. That was just absolutely perfect. And he's very, very lined up on 33.
Yeah, and this is as relaxed as I think I've seen Jeff look. Again, we talked about he's had a lot of bad luck, and I think you see him tense up sometimes when he bowls on the show, almost expecting something bad to happen, but he looks very relaxed. 8th frame now for Jason. Once again, being pushed hard and pushing right back.
Great adjustment there. Okay, we've got a 3-pin match.
So Jason has cut into that lead that Jeff was holding for a while.
Yep, it's 3 pins.
Now here's a chance to go take the lead. Not a lot of emotion. That's one thing we have not seen, nor will we expect to see out of Jason. He's pretty stone-faced.
But I think he's having fun.
I hope so. I know we're having fun watching.
He's doing a lot of giggling in the interview, so I know he's having fun. Oh. Well, that was a big shot right there.
That could have put it away.
Well, it would have put Jeff in a must-do situation, which now Jeff can loosen up a little bit because he can go 9 spare. He can strike or spare, and he's still in the driver's seat by pins, not by a lot. But he can't lose his lead if he doesn't strike.
So Jeff Pullman will finish out here. That has been the strategy this entire win streak for Jason Ciliberto, is he starts and he finishes. And he has been, that's why he's been in those positions to know exactly what he needed heading to the 10th frame. So again, it's a strategy approach that you and I talk an awful lot about, but it's worked very well for him here. So Jeff Pullman will do what he can to put Jason once again in that situation, and potentially for Jeff the chance to decide it before Jason picks that next ball up. And that is not what he wanted.
Oh, that is so not what he wanted.
A very difficult 4, 6, 7, 10 left for Jeff. And that just takes the lead and blows it up.
It does. Well, I said that Jason did not rely on any luck or lucky breaks going his way. And I'd have to say that as fast as I could say it, as fast as it turned it around.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we talked about Jeff has sort of been the master of a little bit of bad luck at the worst possible times. And that's why he's only won once in all the appearances he's had on the show. And again, on cue, there it is. Mm-hmm. Now, again, you make your own luck in this sport. You've taught me that, and you know, sometimes you get a little lucky bounce or a lucky fall, and then sometimes it's what you did to create that.
Seems like it's a hard time stopping the Ciliberto train.
It is, and again, it is just chug slow and steady wins races and bowling matches.
Yeah.
And that pin rung right around the 10.
You know, I could see it from here. It was an excellent shot, but the rack was just a little bit open, and he may have wanted to re-rack that in this case, because you could see where it was going to.
That might have been the difference in that.
It was a good shot, but it was a ring 10 rack, and when you have a ring 10 rack, you got to hit way high flush going at the pins. I mean, you can strike on those racks, but the direction he's going was a ring 10.
Mm-hmm. So you recognized that even before
I saw it just before the ball hit the pins, right. And you could almost see the opening if you're looking from here between the 1 and the 3. But in that case, it's almost like the 3 is set back just a little bit. It's just set up to ring around that 10.
Mm-hmm. So he could have had the opportunity to have that re-racked if he had chosen it, but that's kind of hard to do when you're, particularly in the 10th frame, right. When you're locked in, right?
And that was a little higher flush there.
So the 213 final score goes on the board for Jeff Pullman, and now it's up to Jason to make that not be enough. So what does Jason need here?
Jason just needs, he doesn't even need a spare.
Okay. So it's going to be another win for Jason Ciliberto unless something crazy and totally unexpected happens. And he will get 9 pins and make it 10 on the latest fall possible of the seventh pin. Man, that was 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. But why not? Why not have a little drama for a 7th consecutive victory as Jason Ciliberto has done it again. The winning streak stays alive with one more match to come. We'll wrap this one up and get you ready for match number 3 and talk about another Ciliberto victory when Sue and I return to Lockport right after this. Well, Jeff, here you go. Into the 9th frame with the lead, the chance to knock off the red-hot Jason Ciliberto, and it's a little bit of the Pullman tough luck that comes and bites you again.
Yeah, I felt good all game long. The shot's beautiful out here. I thank Allie Brandt for putting a great shot out for us, just making it very competitive. Jason's throwing the ball great, so I knew it was only going to come down to one shot, and I got just a little easy, I think, in the 9th frame, and it jumped on me, and I paid the price for it. And Jason, he's just going to keep striking. So, yeah, congratulations to him. I wish him the best of luck moving forward too.
All right, and all those nice things you said about Brian, that's going to put him in a good mood too.
Here's your royalty.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, one of these days the tough luck's going to stop for our guy Jeff here, and he's going to go on a nice run of his own. But at the moment, the run belongs to Jason Ciliberto. He goes for 8 in a row when we come back.
I'm here on Beat the Champ with Jeff Holfelder, a new face to Beat the Champ and a new face to the audience, but not a new face to me. I've known you for a very long time, and I'm very happy to see you here. And we want to say hi to your dad while we have the opportunity. You're on TV. And tell us about a little bit the journey here.
Well, I've tried out the last couple months. Manor 2 wasn't so well. Tonawanda was second on qualifier. I figured I'd try and roll that over here. I've never bowled here before. Figured give it a shot. I was high qualifier. And went from there, actually made the cut for TV. So. And
you won a TV in the process, right?
Yes, I did.
All right, well, then I guess, it only took you a couple months to get here, and I'm so happy for you. Thank you. I hope you bowl well today and put on a great show, and I hope that it's everything you want it to be.
All right, thank you.
All right.
It'll be Jeff Holfelder's attempt to end the winning streak of Jason Ciliberto. We'll tell you more about Jeff in a moment, but as per norm, Jeff will start things off. Why would he mess with that now? He's done it every single match in the 7-match winning streak. During those 7 matches, Jeff has averaged 246.5. And that's a very unusual and disappointing start for Jeff. Or Jason, I'm sorry, I called him Jeff. Better get the guy's name right. He's won 7 in a row. What happened there?
Well, that's the thing with that ball. It's going to read the dry a little bit too. It's going to overread the dry, so he's just got to make sure that he doesn't make that mistake of keeping it in the dry too long.
Well, I guess if you're going to open, you might as well do it in the first frame, right? And shake that thing off. So now maybe Jeff Holfelder senses some opportunity here. 45 years old, the fabricator from Grand Island, making his Beat the Champ debut. Man, that's a pretty good way to get it started. Jeff was our top qualifier, won the television from Dirt Cheap TV, and then it obviously advances to the roll-off where he was able to grab the final spot here in his first chance to compete on Beat the Champ, but obviously bowls well here, bowled well in qualifying, so we'll see what Jeff can do. Regularly bowls at Tonawanda and Rapids during the course of the week in league play.
And Jeff has been bowling at Tonawanda forever. I know him from when I worked there, and I started working there in 1989.
So he's a veteran then.
Yeah.
He's a veteran of the TBC, isn't he? Frame number 2 for Jeff. And rings it around the 10, so he'll have a spare opportunity. Well, I tell you, if he had doubled to start off with after Jason opens in the first, we might have all been wondering whether this is the guy that's going to figure out a way to do what no one else has done, which is beat Jason.
I don't know. We've seen so much. It's hard to believe that he just seems so invincible right now.
So it's strike spare for Jeff in the first 2 frames, and now Jason moves back in to shake off that open as we head to the second frame. The winning streak of 7 in a row now puts Jason in a tie for the 4th longest winning streak here on the show. Jeremy Zimmerman's 14 leads the way. Dana Wojtowicz had 11. Kevin Bianco had 10, 4 of them which came here at Allie Brandt Lanes in 2017. And now Jason is tied with Pete Maduri, who won 7 in a row earlier in the year up at Kearns Avenue Bowling Center. So rare air right now, rare company for Jason Ciliberto to have this kind of winning streak, which may very well continue. Not only here, but at the Rapids Bowling Center. If he wins this, he's off to there next week.
Right, it just makes you realize how difficult, how long, like Jeremy's 14 winning streak is. And that's double what
over
this guy.
3 different months, Jeremy. Remember, three different, two houses, but 3 different times, because he won 3 at Rapids, swept the entire month at Classic, and won all 9, and then came back to Rapids and won 2 more. And if you'll recall, during Jeremy's amazing winning streak, he had a few of those sort of lucky,
for sure.
Someone from above knocking a pin down kind of moments. A little bit like Jason has here, too. Although Jason hasn't needed that kind of luck that Jeremy got.
No, I feel like the first thing that happened to Jason was, Jeff making a bad shot there when Jeff had him really up against the wall.
So an interesting start for Jason Ciliberto, open spare strike, and we'll see whether he can maintain the consistency of that last throw, and we'll see what Jeff's going to do about it too. Big high backswing for Jeff, and lots of movement on the 7-pin, but it won't go down.
Yep, that's just a result of being a little high flushed we call that the stone 7. Nothing was really hitting it, so he'll just have to make a spare and just try to keep it in the pocket like he has been.
And the big hook over for the spare from Jeff Holfelder. Again, debut performance from him here on Beat the Champ, even though he has been involved in the bowling scene in Western New York for a long time. There's Janelle manning the Castellone Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram scoreboard. Has not had to erase that Jason off the scoreboard for
right.
quite a while.
You know, Jeff
and we may not have to. May be able to pack that thing up and take it to Classic with the Jason still on
They
it.
should absolutely do that if that's what happens.
And there's a nice strike from Jeff Holfelder.
The action will continue on Beat the Champ in just a minute. Instant replay on Beat the Champ is brought to you by Transit Lanes and Keglers. Join us for bowling, food, and drinks. Welcome back to Beat the Champ.
I was looking at that list of the bowlers, and I was counting the left-handers, and there was only one. Tyler Molino is the only left-hander in there.
Interesting, because as much as you talk about the advantage that those lefties have, I'm almost surprised we haven't had more lefties high on that list.
I think it's a matter of percentages, like how many lefties versus righties there are out there. We're probably pretty close to...
There's a triple for Jeff Holfelder. Strikes in frames 4, 5, and 6.
Big triple right there.
Yep. So both guys working triples right now. Let's see how the 37-year-old from Gasport, Jason Ciliberto, responds. Won a city tournament here in Lockport, Scratch All Events title recently. Tri-City Masters title a couple of years ago as well, too.
Good shot.
And there's a 4th strike in a row. Boy, what's been amazing to me is we generally, keep in mind, we record all of these shows on the same day. So when we get to this point now in our last match, these lanes are pretty beat up. And generally the scores start to go down in the 3rd show. But not here, and not for Jason. He's 223, 235, and continuing to knock pins down here.
And honestly, he's still in this exact same area he started out in. He's definitely gone to less aggressive bowling ball, but he's still able to stay in the same spot.
And that tends to go against what you're always telling all of us about, you stay in the same spot, you're going to wear it out a little bit.
Well, he did wear it out, but he went to a ball that
so the ball was the way to respond to that.
But yeah, he instead of moving in and opening the lane up more, because that's not his game. His game is to be very up the lane or towards the pocket. He doesn't want to get to a point where he's opening it up and trying to, like loop the whole lane. He wants to stay with his arm swing in the direction that he's comfortable in and that he's good at.
So the run of 4 straight strikes comes to an end for Jason. Let's see if he'll grab the spare. He does. So it's a 7-frame spare for Ciliberto.
Now Jeff's got an opportunity to, tilt the scales a little bit in his direction. So
he does have his triple still working.
Right. So he can go up 10 pins with a strike here.
18 career 300 games for Jeff Holfelder and a pair of 800 series. Right where he needed it to be for a 4th consecutive strike. Nice rhythm for Jeff, and again that high backswing generating some power as a ball goes down the lane at over 18 miles per hour. That's my new favorite toy, by the way, the mile per hour marker. We don't have them at every bowling center we go to, but most of them have it on the monitors. That's a really cool tool for us to talk about.
Oh, he didn't like that, but I thought it was a perfectly good shot.
And that one sounded as good as any of them. That was almost a mile per hour slower than the previous one. So 5 in a row for Jeff Holfelder, and once again, as Jason Ciliberto heads to the 8th frame, he knows there's not much margin for error.
No, because Jeff just went up 20 pins with that.
Boy, he was probably hoping to get that pin to roll back and take the 8 out, but it did not.
Well, I'm gonna tell you that's a stroke of bad luck for you right there, because that was a very good shot. He couldn't have done anything any different. That is just a true tap.
Yeah, that rolling pin just kind of rolled towards the front instead of rolling towards the side where it would have taken that last one out.
Well, the ball was supposed to hit that pin, and it missed it.
So it's a spare in the 8th for Jason Ciliberto, and again, with the way Jeff is bowling and building the lead, Jason's running out of time here and needs some strikes. He's got 4 more opportunities. This amazing run for Jason Ciliberto on the line in our final match. And that's the response that he needed.
Well, the best Jason can post is a 236. So, if Jeff strikes here, he's gonna have this right in his hand. I mean, this is a big strike. It doesn't make or break it, but it would make it very difficult for him to lose if he strikes here.
9th frame. That is a 6th consecutive strike, and maybe the one that gets Jeff the victory. And what a nice debut performance here on Beat the Champ for
all he needs is a spare.
The 45-year-old from Grand Island. So just a spare in the 10th frame will get Jeff the win. And he gets a strike instead, and that will clinch the victory. So the amazing run of Jason Ciliberto and his 7 consecutive wins comes to an end for no other reason other than a guy making his debut on the show has been amazing with 7 consecutive strikes. Make it 8. See if you can make it 9 to really finish things off. What a performance by Jeff Holfelder. Again, even as we've seen throughout the course of this month, the debuts have had their ups and downs, even though most of the guys have bowled pretty well, but there's always been a little factor of, you know, a mistake here and there that comes from being on the show for the first time, and boy, that hasn't seemed to bother Jeff at all.
Well, he had 1 errant shot, went Brooklyn, struck on it anyways, and he just parlayed that into enough strikes to shoot 260.
So that's it, a 267, and I guess if you're going to beat Jason Ciliberto the way he's bowling, averaging just under 250, you better throw a 267 in order to win, and that's exactly what happened. Well, if somebody was going to beat Jason Ciliberto, they were going to have to throw a 267 in order to do it. A lot like what you've done in the 7 consecutive wins was just sort of outscore everybody. A little bit different to be on the other side of it?
Yeah, well, Jeff won the TV, so he shot 780 in qualifying, so you know he can put strikes together. So
reflect back on the whole run, starting with the 300 game and just an incredible 248 average through 7 straight wins. Just reflect on how well you felt like you were bowling.
Yeah, I felt like I threw it really well today. So yeah, made some good shots when I needed to, and
helps continue the run.
Yeah, and guess what? He's going to give you enough money that you might be able to get your own television.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, we're going to Sizzler, aren't we? Yeah.
What's Sizzler?
Oh, man.
Dating yourself there, Brian. You're dating yourself. So I think he can upgrade a little bit if he really wants himself a nice
sear.
Right, there you go. Sue?
Well, a bit of a road to get here. How did it feel while you were up there bowling for your first time on TV?
I'm not going to lie, I was pretty nervous. Pretty nervous coming out here. You know, he was throwing the ball great all day, and I came out here. Honestly, I told myself, don't shoot 120, and I didn't. I had a couple that came off my hand a little weird that I got some lucky breaks, but I felt like I was throwing it pretty well.
Well, good for you, because the first time I say don't do something is when I actually do it. So, well, it worked for you, and we got a new champion going into Rapids Bowling Center, so good luck to you going forward.
Thank you.
All right, Jeff Holfelder, we'll see him in 2 weeks when we move to Niagara Falls. He'll try to start a streak of his own. Sue and I will wrap up a great 3 weeks here and tell you about a really fun next show from Allie Brandt when we return on Beat the Champ. Well, maybe not the result we expected to end this run here at Allie Brandt, but what a performance by Jeff Holfelder. And as I said, the only way you were going to beat Ciliberto was going to put a big score up.
Right, and all the competitors from this month, because they all put pressure on him, and everybody rose to the occasion, and it went the way it was supposed to go. And now we have a new champion going forward to Rapids Bowling Center. But nothing to take away from Jason, who really put on a great show for us here the whole month.
Yeah, a 7-match winning streak for Silaberto, including a 300 game. It was a lot of fun, and you always get the best seat in the house.
Always get the best seat, and you know, sometimes I even got to move out of the way a little bit. But no, it was a great run, and we get to add Jason's name to the Hall of Fame for 300s on the show.
Yep, pretty cool stuff. So it was a great 3-week run here, but we're not done. Next week, we're going to see some of the up-and-coming young bowlers here in the area are going to be part of our show for next week. We'll be back with Janelle and Sue and the gang here at WBBZ. We'll see you next week on Beat the Champ.